Hey, we are multiplying our matrices. So let's take a couple, and we're going to also look at using one other aspect of our calculator that you might go, ooh, I like, or, not a big fan. When we were multiplying, how do we know which matrices we can times together? Is it that you can just times any? No. If the numbers are the same that are in the middle. When we're talking about there, rhymes with border. Order, correct. So remind us, what is the order of A? Row by column, excellent. So 2 by 4, 2 by 1, 4 by 1. Okay, so what combinations could we have here? We could have, right, A times C, and that would mean, so let's have a go. So that's 2 by 4 times 4 by 1. So we know that they can actually be multiplied together because the innards, the row and the column are the same. And what else do we know? Right, I can already plot my answer. I know that the answer is going to be a 2 by 1, so I could pre-draw. Not pre-sales like Taylor Swift, but pre-draw. Yeah? So can someone give me one more combo that we could possibly do? How sad. Poor old B, not in the game, couldn't do it, even though it's got a 2 and a 2, can't go. Because it's going to be a 2 by 4 and a 2 by 1, so that's out, because 4 and a 2, no good. So when we are now working out A times C, AC, we rewrite 1, 0, 2, minus 1. And we know that we can do this on our calculator, but we're just going to make sure that we can practice doing it by hand. Who can remember how we do it? This is how we do it. Pre-draw. Anybody? 7. I like to go, I always remember 7, row by column. So I'm going to go this row by this column. So 1 times 5, 5. 0 times 5. 0 times negative 1, so that's plus 0, plus 2 times 2 is 4, plus 0. So not giving too much away, but in your worksheet it will say, and possibly even your test, it will say show your working. Now I don't think, Philippa, I need you to go 1 times 5, 2 times 2, whatever, but at least I can see that you're getting the gist. So if you want to put 1 times 5 and so on, by all means, do it. But I don't need you to. Yellow and green should never be seen without another colour in between. Oh well. So 3 times 5, 15. 1 times minus 1, so take 1. 4 times 2, 8, plus the 0. And then we can tidy that up. We get 9. 14 plus 8. Do we have to go to the calculator? Hopefully not. 22. You talk, so I'm going to take longer. There is now a 4th matrix that is introduced, and we will call it matrix. Well done, D. Okay, so D, we're going to say D exists, and it exists so that A, D, B is able to be worked out. Can you tell me what order matrix D must be? I'll just say that again. There's a new matrix, D. Maybe I'm writing the test, maybe I'm writing a worksheet. I want to be able to work out A times D times B. Now we know in order to times 2 matrices together, what has to happen? Joel, you said it before. The innards need to be the same, yeah? So for this A, D, B to actually work, you have to have the innards to be the same. So instead of staring, what should we do? Yes?
To get B the same as A, D could,
Okay, so you've got it sort of a plan in your head, but what could I write down right here? Couldn't we write down what the order of A is? And this is where you have to shift from. Don't just keep it in your head. Write stuff down, right? So we know this has to be a 2 by 4. We know that B is a 2 by 1. So what has to be in here so that it will actually, hello?
4 by 2.
Not 2 by 2. 4 by 2. That's right. That has to be 4 and that has to be 2. Now, as soon as we write it down, it's like, oh my God, common sense. Agreed? But was it common sense if you kept it in your head? No. So you go timesing. What do we need to know about timesing? They've got to have the innards be the same. Write it down. So that means D would be a 4 by 2. So it's not just about multiplying the suckers. We actually have to understand about the order. Make it the sense? Make it the sense. All right. That's probably it for revision. So just a little calculator thing. And again, we can say take it, leave it. You can use it. I know year 12s probably use this sometimes because if you have a really large matrix, like a 7 by 8 or whatever. So if we go into, remind me again, how do we pull up our matrix? Math, good. F1 matrices, and if it was, let's say, 7 by 8, we go in here, I go 7, I go 8, oops, out of the domain. So we couldn't actually put that in. The other thing is what happens if we have a matrix, so you can't see at home, but I'm holding up our little worksheet, and I've put some matrices right at the top, and they're going to be used throughout your worksheet, so you don't have to keep doing different ones. So if you want to keep using the same one over and over again, so I've just pressed exit, exit, exit. And I don't know if you remember the first time we actually looked at our calculator, we went into F3 and this thing came up. Yeah, so if it's a matrix that you're going to use over and over and over again, or it's a big one like 7 by, and we're not going to use those ones, but just so you know it's there if you're doing it next year. Let's go, I'm going to press A, so I press enter. We've seen this before, it asks you for the domain. So I can pop in, let's pop in a 2 by 3. Okay. And then it asks you to fill it up. So you can put whatever you want in there. Actually, I might just go 1. Let's be original. Just pause you for a minute, and 2. So let's imagine you've put in a matrix. Let's imagine you also have another one in B and C and what have you. So you've got them stored there. You now want to use them. I don't want to keep typing that in. That's the whole reason I typed it in once. Anyone know how I can call it up? Look carefully at your, and now I need my glasses on. Oh, do you? So can you look somewhere around here? And look, there's always more than one way to do it. But can you see above 2? What do you notice? Map, matrix, map. So if I go, it's yellow. So if I go shift, matrix, and I want to call up matrix A. Oh, if only there was a button that said A. There is. It's in red. So shift alpha. So I could go matrix A and then times matrix B and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to go matrix A. I'm going to actually use my arrows and go to the front and say 2 times matrix A. And boom. Gives it to me. So if you're using the same matrix over and over again and you get tired of typing it in, then you've got that option. Okay? And we'll play with that again. You don't have to memorize it this time. We'll use it every now and again, but it's there for you if you want to play. Capiche? If you wouldn't mind, we're just cruising for the rest of the 40 minutes, finishing off your bookwork. If you want to feel like you want to get started on the worksheet, it's not that big. It's lots of space because the matrices take up a little bit of room. I'll give these out to you and you can do what you want. But by Wednesday, worksheet done and the bookwork that's on OneNote done. All good? And I can just come and help you individually. Done.